Hi, I am going to show you a Valentine card today, but like I have said with so many of my Valentine projects this last couple of days, if you switch out the sentiment on the project, it can be a wedding card, a shower card, a birthday card, just because the words are going to say Happy Valentine. When you see it, it could be a lot of different occasions. There's no red, there's no pink, there's no anything on this that makes it be a Valentine. So I think you're gonna like it. I'm going to use the meant to be, and I'm actually going to use the words that say Happy Valentine's Day in this. I'm gonna use the bundle, so I'm gonna have the dies as well. The lights are a little glaring because I'm getting ready to aim my camera down. The dies are fabulous. And on this one, I'm going to use just the one die, and it's this one. And when you run it through, it does two different things. So you're going to see both of what you do. And for this card, you run it through multiple times. So I have already run it through a few times, so you don't have to watch me run it through multiple times. So I'm going to use the Wood Grain Designer Series paper at 6x6. It's in the annual catalog. And it's been in there a couple of years, and I'm glad because it's one of my favorite papers that we've had. It's all different wood grains on different sizes, on different sides. So, like I said, it's not Valentine colors, so it can be masculine, it could be feminine, and I think for a lot of the weddings right now that are barn kind of weddings, it would be really good for those. So, let me move my big shot over here, and I'm going to show you that before I actually point to my camera all the way down, because I want to show you what this does. Well, I guess I'm going to have to point it a little bit down. I thought I had it better. There we go. I might have to move it again. So you've got this, and I've run it through, like I said, a few times already. You can see here, and I just have my paper. I'm going to put it in the center of my die here, and it just takes a couple of passes because it's just paper, it's not cardstock. So it's a pretty intricate die as far as dies go, and sometimes those take a couple more passes, but because it's paper, it's pretty good. So then I've got this little tray here, and you can see I've already got a ton of little hearts in here from the other times. This is 3 times that I've run it through, so this will be the 4th. But on this one, this time, all the times I ran it through here, I let all the hearts fall into here. This time I didn't want them to fall into here because I want this piece of it. You can see all of these pieces that I have. Get it over in the light. I want that to be the piece that I'm keeping this time. So these are the little pieces. I'm going to aim it down here a little bit more. There you go. So I'm going to put these over here, which most of them stayed up on the tray. Move that out of the way. Get my camera lined up. It'd be nice to have a cameraman who could do all this for you, hey? And kind of see, I think I'm too far back now. I apologize for this. I know it's not fun to watch the camera move. There we go. So on this one, you can see here now, all of these are from the other times that I've run it through. So you end up with these. Now you can see it maybe. So this time I do want the frame for my card. I did do this on my Facebook Live the other day, and I showed them my mock-up because I hadn't finished the card. They actually saw it for the first time finished. And I'm going to show you guys that too, so you can kind of see the progression that the card took before I was done with it. And actually I liked it when I was done on Facebook, which was good because I hadn't seen it finished to make sure I was going to like it. So I've got these pieces here, and this is cut, this one's cut 4 and 5 1/4, so this one's I've cut just a smudge under that. And on this one, I'm going to emboss. So I'm going to take our Versamark, And this does say Happy Valentine's Day, and it's from the Meant to Be. And I'm gonna put it, this has like darker and lighter sections of the wood. So I'm gonna stamp it down here in the lightest part of the wood. And then I have our black embossing powder, which was gone for a while, but it's back. And you can see mine has a blue lid, which if you've been around Stampin' Up! For a while, you know our logos and colors often change. So this is several years ago. And embossing powder will last a really long time. So just pour that onto the Versamark, and it sticks to where it's supposed to stick. And then you just tamp off where it's not supposed to stick. The first time I made the card, I just stamped this in Stays On, and I'll show you. It's okay, but you can't really see it. So I wasn't pleased with it. So then when I went on Facebook Live for the first time, that was when I embossed it. It's way better embossed. So then you just heat this. I'm gonna move it up to the camera so maybe you can see it if you've not done embossing before. Here it's just powder, and then this will melt it. So you don't want to do it too long. If you do it too long, it'll go flat. You want to do it just till it goes shiny. But you do want to make sure you get everywhere, otherwise the powder will just come off. So there you can see it. The day has gone shiny, and the happy's not. So maybe you can get that on camera. It's one of those things you kind of have to angle it into the light to be able to see it. But there we go. So now it's all where you can see the sentiment. When I learned to stamp 25 years ago, embossing was the first thing that I learned how to do. I thought, I didn't even realize, I didn't even own a black ink pad. I thought all you did was emboss. So now I'm going to take this and kind of just lay it on here, and then I just have a pencil, just a plain ordinary pencil. And I'm just going to kind of mark the edges of where the hearts are, like the tops and the bottoms. So I kind of know where to put adhesive, and it's just random. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, the first time I did, I didn't even do this. I just kind of eyeballed it. But this way you kind of get where most of them are. There we go. Then I just have my snail. Just kind of add snail all in those little V's. And some of them might not have any, but that's okay. We'll pick those up later. And then just take this back. And you just have to be careful that you kind of put it back in the same general spot that you had it that time. And then you're going to take all these little hearts, and you take your pick tool, and you want to use this little gubby end. And you pull off the little sticky bit that may have dried if it sat for a while. And then you just start piecing these. That's why, whoops, that's why I've run it through 3 different times. So I have lots of different kinds of wood. And it's kind of like a puzzle where you just kind of see where they go. And then you just fit them back in. Where they go. And then take your pick tool is perfect for it because you can just pick them up. It's kind of relaxing, although I will say it's more relaxing and faster to do when you're not filming. And it was much more relaxing when I wasn't on Facebook Live. That one is too close. Well, actually, I'll flip it over maybe. I think there's a few in here from another time when I did not use this same piece of background, and you don't want the inserts to be the same as what your outline is because you want the contrast. So you can see they just fit right back in where they popped out of. And you just stick them in. And these are different papers than I've used on my other samples. So you'll get to kind of see the different looks that you go for. So if you wanted to do a bunch of these, I would just suggest running a bunch of them out. The only thing you want to do, see, this one's the same as the paper, because I've changed paper backgrounds because and you want the contrast. And that's the same as the background, because I've done the cards so many times now that there were hearts already in the tray. And before I used the whitest background, but I'm out of that. There is, because you could do the same thing, you wouldn't have to use wood paper, you could do it with any kind of paper. And there is wood paper in the floral designer series paper that is currently in the Occasions catalog, and it's the white, which is the original card that I made this on, is the whitest paper. So you could use that. Where did he come from? There we go. It would also be fun for kids to do this in some bright colors, because they would have fun piecing it back together. And that's the same as my border. These ones with the wood look a little bit camo once they've been cut out. It was not my intention, although my girlfriends will laugh because I am on a camo clothing kick, so it kind of matches my style. I was out shopping yesterday and the store had a whole section of clothes, the whole entire women's section. All of it was camo, so I sent it to them. I was not going to get it, and I knew they, but you know, some shoes, I could go to some shoes. No, this one right here doesn't have any sticky, so that's okay. You can just either add it in here. On the ones I did yesterday, I did use some tiny little dimensionals that I cut in half, and some of my hearts are popped up. But on this one, I decided that I wanted to see what it looked like with them all flat. There we go. So it's not like it's it's just a little bit more time consuming than some cards you might make, but the effect, I think, is worth it. So then I'm just going to take the black. There's no ribbon. You could maybe add some twine. I thought about trying to get some on here, but I tend to be a more is more person when I make my cards, so sometimes I like to do a less is more card. And you could also mount it on some different colors, but this one, I went for the white, partly because it's still winter here, and it kind of gives it a wintry outside woods feel. It snowed today, we had lots of snow, lots of accidents. Then for the last little tip, where I just pulled the snail, there is snail, I don't know if you can see it, in between these hearts, and all you have to do to kind of get rid of that so it doesn't stick to stuff is take an embossing buddy, and if you don't have one, you could get a little bit of powder, and you just want to lightly like dab on that, and that will take away the sticky. See, no more sticky. That way you'll be able to stick it in an envelope and not have it stick to itself. So just make sure all of the sticky spots are gone. These are fabulous. And it is so dry in my house that when I did my Facebook Live, I actually washed my plates, that my hearts were jumping everywhere. So right now, if you live in the places where you've had to have your heat on because we've been a million degrees below zero, it's so dry in my house, I don't need to use an embossing buddy because the embossing powder is only sticking where it's supposed to. In the winter, I mean in the summer, when it gets so humid here that our paper will be wet, even though it's not wet in the summer, an embossing buddy is an invaluable tool. Now I am going to show you real quick This was my original card, and it was on here. I'll show you it this way because I didn't have it behind black. So I can show you. I did like this color, but the Designer Series paper pack comes with just a few of each. I do not like when I stamp just with the memento. It needed it to be darker. That's why I went to the embossing, and I didn't like the way that I added the pearls. I just didn't like the overall card. So then when I went Facebook Live, I switched to this one. So you can see it's on some different paper, again, because the way the paper packs come, so you start to run out of paper. And here I've popped some up. So same card, just a little bit different with the paper looks. So I hope you enjoy that. And again, if you were going to a barn wedding, changing this to be a wedding sentiment, I think it'd be a perfect little wedding card. The meant to be you could put on there, or if you have another wedding sentiment out of another wedding set. But I hope you enjoy that. I have a few more Valentine cards before I ordered the second round of celebration sets, so they should be here soon. And I will be doing an unboxing with my friends next week with that, so be watching for that. So have a great day. Bye.